Hey guys, welcome back. Tisha here, back for another, say it with me, say what? So, I was getting ready to do my mask. I've never tried this before. Rose and collagen. I normally do a turmeric mask because some of you may know my skin is very sensitive and I got sunburn and I've been peeling and I'm nervous about the turmeric burning me. So I wanted to try this to see if it would help hydrate me. But I said, okay, let me figure out, what way I'm going to do things. Am I going to do my mask first? Am I going to respond to these comments? Anyways, so I'm looking at my comments and I'm quickly reminded by Tulips and Cats that I am supposed to be talking about this beef between Madison and Meri, which got me to looking at some quick articles. And I've come to the conclusion, you all tell me what you think, where I still don't know how I feel about this situation, because we see over the years how the Browns have used words. We've seen that they use certain things that don't apply. And I wonder what was done here. Because if I'm being honest, there were things that were done to me in my life, without being too specific, that I may have deemed as abusive from adults, right? Whereas if I were to ask some of those adults, they would tell me they weren't being abusive. They were being a disciplinarian. But if you're using broomsticks and switches off of a tree and brushes and shoes and your fist and pushing a child down on the ground to discipline them, is that really discipline? I don't think so. But everybody feels differently about it. So with that being said, when I hear the word abuse used by the Browns, I sometimes wonder how bad things were. So in this article that I found, what has happened is Madison got upset about something that Meri said or did in regards to talking about the work ethic of people when it came to LuLaRoe. Now, for whatever reason, Maddie thought that she was talking about her, which then turned into her coming to the internet and outing Meri. Janelle Brown and Cody Brown's oldest daughter, Madison Brush Brown, accused her father's first wife, Meri Brown, of being a, quote, monster. In light of Paedon Brown's allegations, here's what Madison's old deleted tweets allegedly said about Meri. And we'll get into what Paedon had to say too. But I'm going to start with this. Into the 2019 Twitter war, she saw Meri tweet about someone not working to their full potential. The Sister Wives star was venting about how selling LuLaRoe isn't a hobby, but should be taken seriously as a business. I get that Meri is very driven when it comes to her business, but it's a lot easier for someone who has no life to devote everything to said business. Example, Madison is not only working as a part of that business, but she is a wife and she is a mom. At that point, when Meri got into LuLaRoe, what was Meri? Meri wasn't a wife and Meri wasn't a mom. So it's really easy to criticize people and to critique people about their work ethic when you don't have the same responsibilities and or fandom as them. Maddie was liked by many, but she wasn't considered a main part of the show. The adults were. The kids didn't get paid. The adults did. So you pushing this narrative like someone's lazy, even if it isn't Maddie, it could have been anybody, because they're not pulling the type of sales that you're pulling, or they're not working the type of hours that you're working when their house could be possibly on fire. They're not staying there and trying to sell items. Doesn't give you the right to downplay things. But We'll continue. While the snarky comments didn't mention a specific person, Sister Wives fans knew that Meri was talking about Madison, who also sells LuLaRoe. Madison seemingly confirmed Meri was reprimanding her by tweeting some messages bashing a specific person who many Sister Wives fans believed was aimed at Meri. In the tweets, Madison calls out an abusive person that she had to deal with her whole life. That doesn't leave many people, because Madison at this time is still in her, 20s? Add on top of that, that Robin obviously wasn't there for her whole life. She's not talking about her dad because he was barely there. She's definitely not talking about Janelle, because we see how the boys at one point were punching each other right in front of her and she did nothing. She had no type of control or discipline. I like Janelle, but a lot of times it seemed like Janelle was just really go with the flow. Christine was the let's have fun, I'm going to try to discipline you. And Meri was the one who rained down a lot of things. It even was said in the book, which is one of the reasons why Christine and Meri later had problems, because she was told that Meri was being abusive towards her kids. In the tweets, Madison calls out the abusive person. And many Sister Wives believe that Madison is talking about Meri, since the both of them at the time unfollowed each other after the online incident. Now, I haven't checked to see what that situation is, but we don't hear about Meri going to visit Madison. The only one that seems to have remained in contact with Madison is Christine. And I doubt that she would be so close to Christine if she was talking about Christine. There is nothing like dealing with an abusive human your whole life and finally having the freedom to not have to do anything else with her. Try being scared of someone your whole effing life, and she plays like she's the one who's hurting. She was a monster. Now she's attacking one of the few safety nets you had? No. Check again. You can't subtweet SHI, you know the rest, and not expect retaliation. Loyalty goes to those who were always kind. Always kind, meaning at some point Meri was kind. Where was the disconnect? And really, with whose children was it? Because you're subtweeting. Were you scared of Meri your whole life and then you went to work for her? I can't say anything about that situation, because you hear about people who are abused all the time who end up still having to be around those who abuse them. I just wonder if Maddie was one of the kids that this was done to, because I always thought it was more so Christine's kids. It's followed up with this part about Paedon calling Meri abrasive. Now, we can feel how we want to feel about Paedon. I still think that there's some things that we're not being told, because Gwen really wants to have nothing to do with him. And if he's going to be so vocal about Meri, I think he should be vocal about himself. But at the same point, I show Paedon a little bit of grace, because Paedon, to me, wasn't the same once they left Utah the way they did. The old tweets are coming back into focus after Christine Brown's son, Paedon, accused Meri of being mean and abrasive in a recent YouTube live interview with John Yates. The then 24-year-old spoke about Meri after a viewer asked about her being abrasive and kind of mean. He said, "Those aren't strong enough words. They are not aggressive enough words. Meri was not nice. Abrasive is not enough of a word to explain what Meri was to a few of us children specifically." He claims Meri's abrasive behavior moved past verbal. Paedon alluded that Meri was on the cusp between physical and verbal abuse, to the point where the line basically stopped existing, but didn't elaborate further on the subject. He also claimed that Robin had seen signs of the negative relationship since she was in an abusive relationship, and stepped in between Meri and some of the kids, that she probably saved several of their lives. Not definitely, but very maybe, Paedon said. That's a strong thing to say. And it makes me wonder what exactly Meri was doing to those kids, that the bird noticed it, number one, and that nobody else did. I don't understand how, if the kids were being physically, because Paedon said the line was drawn, if they were being physically abused, how the other parents didn't see it, and why it took Robin coming in for them to see it. In the past, Christine claimed that Meri was too tough on her kids, which caused her not to trust her around them. Arguments regarding parenting aren't a new thing for the wives and have been a point of contention throughout the Sister Wives season. I would love to know more, because I feel like there's more to this than what any of us have known. I went on Reddit. Well, I'm on it now. Somebody had put up a question asking about the allegations of abuse against Meri. They said that, I don't know what to think here. I have mixed feelings about Meri. She used to be my favorite, but I've been struggling with her over the past. Even though I see what a lot of other people see, it's difficult to see what's going on with this family. One thing though, the fact that Meri tweeted about Maddie's work ethic is terrible. It's a passive aggressive thing to do. Who does that? No wonder why Meri retaliated, but I'm left wondering, was Meri abusive towards the older kids? Sorry, this was a bit of a ramble. I cut a lot of it out in what she said. I always look down upon people who go to social media to bash other people. And I say that because there's a lot of things that have gone on in my life that I would never put up on social media and say to talk about someone else, because what do you gain from doing that? Now, they are in the public spotlight and they get paid to give us the reality of their situation. And for years, they have not given us reality. And I feel like there's a lot of resentment built up with this family to the point where I don't know what's true and what's not true. I do believe that Meri was emotionally abusive. I still don't know about the physical aspect. The problem is when you have adults that have treated each other so badly for so long, example, how Meri has treated Janelle, how Cody has treated multiple wives, it's hard to kind of detect what's what, because her level of discipline was obviously different from the other parents. And I guess what my question is to you all is, do you think that Meri was abusive? Yes or no? Because I believe that she was strict. I believe that she was demanding. I believe that she was abrasive. I believe that she has certain expectations, like having a calm environment and a clean home, because she is somewhat OCD. I see it. And I feel like it's hard sometimes to decipher what's what when you have all these different adults with all these different views, and you have all these children who have been mistreated in so many different ways. They have a lot to say about Meri, but very few of them are really coming out and speaking about their whole process. Because even their moms, why did it take somebody else to see it for it to be called out? But you all, let me know what you think down below. Until next time.